Hi again, Federation Retailers. It's me, Nathan Hall, and we're back with another episode of the Fed Talks, which is, of course, the NFRN's video communication to you. And the episode today is on a subject that I cannot put into words how important it is that we talk about. It's retail crime. I know from my time on Connect, when I was on the helpline talking to all of you guys, I know how badly it impacts you, a lot of you every day, you and your staff. It cost the UK £2.2 billion a year. It's crazy. So we've got Rob on from the Retail Mutual. I'll introduce you guys to him in a sec, but we've got 5 tips on how you can reduce the risk of these incidents happening in your shop. So let's dive into this and get cracking. So Rob, welcome to the Fed Talks. I think it's your first time, so welcome. Of course, we're talking about retail crime today. I guess before we dive into that, do you want to give a quick intro to yourself and who the Retail Mutual are?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on the Fed Talks. So my name's Rob Gibbs. I'm a marketing manager for the Retail Mutual. For those who don't know who the Retail Mutual is, we are a cover provider for independent retailers. We provide products such as public liability, employees liability, business interruption cover, stock cover, contents cover, and buildings cover. Everything you need to help protect your shop.
Brill, fantastic. And of course, retail crime. Let's dive into that, which is such a big issue for our retailers. It's massive. So we're going to be talking about 5 top tips to, first of all, help prevent it or reduce the risk of it happening and impacting your business. And the first point that we'll go into is the most obvious one you would imagine, which is CCTV. So say I'm an independent retailer, Rob, in this area, what should I be thinking about?
CCTV, it's a must. You have to have it. I mean, it's for anything else, it's more for preventative measures. So, you may deter some shoplifters when they come in and go, all CCTV, I'm not going to steal anything. It doesn't, affect everyone. But I think the main thing to remember with CCTV, it's gathering evidence. So from a claims point of view, from our point of view, when something happens in your store, like a robbery or even a public liability, it's sometimes even employees liability. You're watching your shop constantly, and someone breaks in. We've got that footage there. We've got that, to go, I've seen you do that. For example, a public liability claim, someone came in, had a bottle of water, squirted on the floor, tripped over, avert yourself, I'm putting a claim in. And then they were like, no, hold on a minute, CCTV, just seen you do that, and it's that deterrent there. I think the important thing to remember is, having a decent CCTV that actually works, checking it on a regular basis. I mean, it's nothing worse than something happening and then you go to check your footage and you go, oh yeah, they didn't record. And it helps the police. It helps the police catch these people. There could be a crime, in a different county 3 months ago, and then they marry that CCTV footage up with your CCTV footage up. Your likelihood of catching them is increased. So, if anything, make sure it works.
Exactly. And then before we dive into the stuff that a lot of people aren't thinking about, the lesser stuff, the other main point that a lot of people need to consider is obviously the alarm systems in the shop. What pointers would you make on that?
Alarms, again, another definite essential. Actually, this does impact cover. And if you haven't got an alarm system in place, then, the likelihood of the cover is going to be massively increased, just because, if you're not taking those preventative measures to reduce crime, taking that risk, that we need to kind of help with that. So an alarm system, there's all different types, but I'd say, an audible alarm, something loud, something that's going to kind of, scare them, kind of go, right, oh, we've only got, it's attracting attention, especially a busy high street. If it echoes down the high street and people have flats above and the windows are open and people have the camera phones out recording this, again, it's more evidence. It's more kind of, alerting to the fact that people are breaking in. But again, it is a deterrent. It is there. And it's just kind of, there are notifications that come through to people's phones to say it's been broken, your shop's been broken into, goes to police. I think it's important to say, make sure it's working, make sure it's checked, at least every 12 months by a professional, because in the day, it's the matter of alarm or not of alarm, and you'd be kind of gutted if you didn't have that in place.
Yeah, exactly. And then that takes me on to access to a shop. We were talking the other day, Rob, I remember it was at our conference in Bournemouth. You were telling me a story of a break-in. Van pulls up to the shop, shutter up, cigarettes out, and it took 3 minutes. Which is absolutely crazy. It baffles my head. So let's talk about entry and access it's making it hard for people to steal from you. What have you got to say about that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy how fast they can get in and out of a shop. Again, we've got thousands and thousands of hours of footage of, CCTV and evidence of these guys coming in, breaking into a shop, and, they're out stealing cigarettes, high value stock, under 3 minutes, 4 minutes at a tops. Any longer than that, that it becomes a bit of a risk for them. They don't want to take that risk because, police, etc. But don't make it easy for them. There's technology and there's security things that help slow that process down of people trying to break in. So why not put it in place? Why make it easy for them? Why give away your stock? So shutters, for example, if you have shutters, then put them in. Is another thing they have to get through. Strong doors, strong locks, making it more difficult for them to break in. Gantries is another one. Some people just have all the cigarettes on display, have a curtain sometimes, maybe just having like a very flimsy little lock. Have decent doors, decent locks. There's a story on claims the other day, someone's telling me that someone broke in, went to go to the gantry, went to steal the cigarettes, but they couldn't get access. And because it hit over that 5 minute mark, they panicked. They didn't want to take the risk. And at the end of the day, it saves a shop owner having that stress of trying to replace the stock, going through the claims process. So it's vital that if you can do anything you can to stop these people. Another one, for example, fog machines is quite a new piece of technology. Does what it says on the tin. You trigger that, it sets fog and smoke off in the store. They can't really see anything. It impairs their vision, makes it more difficult, slows them down. Again, they just won't bother and they go. So anything people can do to slow down criminals, better, I think, personally.
Exactly, Rob. And then point 4, second off last, is the lighting in the shop. With this, what do retailers need to consider?
Well, it's lighting in general, really. I mean, in a shop, if you've got like a dark, poor lit area of a shop, it's a blind spot within the store, put some lights in. Again, it's a deterrent for shoplifters. Even with public liability, if you've got, think about your customers. If some little old lady comes into the store, and she's struggling to see, and there's bumps and trips or a mat, and you can't see, having a well-lit area saves people from slipping over and falling over. Not just inside the store, also the front of the store as well. Having lights at the front, floodlights, making customers easy to see. Even your bin area. If your bin area is under dark, that's a prime target for vandals, arsonists, kids who just want to kind of cause trouble. Having a well-lit area will again deter them. But when it comes to bins, they have to make sure that bins are at least 3 meters away from the store, because anything closer and they set fire is a risk of that transferring over to the shop and burning the shop down. So make sure bins are locked away, make sure they're at least 3 meters away from the store, and well visible as well from extra additional lighting.
Exactly. And then finally, one that my local store definitely takes on board is communication to other businesses and people in the area. Where I live, Rob, there's a parade of businesses, and there's a barber, florist, cafe, and a convenience store, Premier retailer, one of our members, all together. And I know that these businesses, they all communicate to each other. Why do you think this is so important, and why should our retailers be doing this?
It's community, isn't it? It's working together. You've got a shop, you've got a business. It's like start a neighborhood watch. I mean, that's one of the recommendations is start your own neighborhood watch. If you see something suspicious, tell other business owners, oh, did you see this van the other night? Did you see that? Have you seen this individual? It's sharing information. The more information you've got between you, the safer you're going to be. Things like WhatsApp, start a WhatsApp group between, them things, did you see that person, take a picture, that kind of stuff. And I think that helps, with more knowledge. And then again, you're gathering more evidence between you. You're getting different angles of the streets and, picking that information up, which again, you can use with the police. And imagine you stop a crime from happening just from being a little bit more aware and communicating with other businesses. That's fantastic. So, and again, preventative measures.
Yeah, exactly, Rob. Well, that's been absolutely brilliant. Those 5 pointers, there's value there for every single member watching this. They can take something away and definitely reduce the risk in crime happening in their business. So thank you, first of all, for joining us. I would encourage all of our retailers watching this to share it with other retailers as well, and get the word about this is what you should be considering and thinking about to prevent it from happening. But again, yeah, cheers, Rob. Thank you for joining.
Nice one. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Well, again, what a brilliant video. Those tips from Rob were absolutely brilliant. I didn't actually think about starting a WhatsApp group. That is an absolute brilliant shout. Talk to the businesses local to you, work together as a team to combat this big problem, and hopefully we can overcome it. Cheers again, Rob, for joining us. Thank you for watching. Share this with some of your fellow retailers. Make sure that they are aware of the tips that we've spoke about today. And I look forward to talking to you guys in the next episode. Thank you.